Alrighty, so today we are going to be going over the best hidden potential builds for all three of the anniversary LRs, and just for the fun of things, we will also throw in the best hidden potential build for Hercule as well. So, with that being said, recently we went over the best team builds, and today, like I said, we are going to go over the best hidden potential setups. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I guess I could pull up this event as I'm talking here, but what you need to be careful using your skill orbs on these characters, because if I am not mistaken, this could be wrong, but I don't think it is. If we go over here to the 10th anniversary battle, we are going to be getting more stages for this, and there's a good chance that the 10th anniversary characters do in fact actually get their own exclusive skill orbs. This could be fairly later on though, so if you have like EX orbs you want to put on these guys, I think that's fine, but just keep in mind that we should be getting some pretty crazy tier skill orbs for these specific characters coming up in the future. So don't use like your best premium non-EX orbs on these guys. I think that would be a good idea for you to just kind of hold off on that for now. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And first and foremost, let's talk about the one that everybody is probably most excited about. And that is going to be Super Saiyan Goku plus Super Saiyan Vegeta Angel plus Super Vegito. What, all the crazy different things, right? So first and foremost, I think one thing that we have to remember is, especially like in the base form, the damage is already pretty good, and then obviously when you are in Vegito, the damage is also great. Looking around with this character, in my opinion, I think the best way to go with this guy is to prioritize additionals, and also if you want to throw some dodge in, I think that is fine as well. On JP specifically, I have all additional and attack stat orbs, just to kind of get those attack stats as high as possible, and potentially help with like the counter damage, right? But when we are in Vegito right here, we have high damage reduction, we have high guard, so you're not going to need to have like a crazy high build on this character. So in my opinion, I think the best way to sort of focus on this guy is some balance of additional and dodge. But if you do want to throw some crit in as well, I think that is fine too. So what makes this specific Vegito character unique is the fact that like, and this really like, if we're being honest, like unless like you're just objectively going against what the character is trying to do, I don't really think there's such thing as like a wrong hidden potential build. Unless, like I said, the character is literally like 100% guaranteed to perform a crit and then you go full crit, right? Or the character is guaranteed to get 2 additional super attacks and you go full additional, right? So I just want that to be like something that we understand. With a character like this though, where there's not like some crazy like easy way to do the build, I think that this is actually a case where you can kind of just focus and emphasize whatever. But I will say I think that emphasizing dodge is probably like the least of your priorities. So like if you wanted to go with a build that's like, and especially if you only have them at like 55%, like if we're going like 10 additional 5 crit, or you know like 8 additional 3 dodge, whatever you want to do, I think that's 100% fine, and you can easily get away with that for this character. But like just seeing what he does, you guys can see that he's buffing up his attack. He's getting a chance of performing a critical hit every time that he's doing an attack. So you don't want to go too hard on it, because if you do 5 attacks, and this is including counters if I'm not mistaken, you will be getting up to 100%. So if you get hit 5 times on like the taunt turn, you're not going to need much crit. So I think the highest priority to me in terms of this build is easily going to be additional, and then if you want to sprinkle in some crit and some dodge, I think that is fine, but keep in mind you don't want to overdo it on the dodge or the crit. I just don't think that's what this character needs at this point in time, and this is not like a case of an old character where the meta is going to power creep him out. This is more of a chance of the game being balanced around him, so there could potentially be a little bit more need for some defense, or potentially some more dodge in the future, but for now, you 100% don't need to emphasize full dodge. I think additional with a little bit of crit and a little bit of dodge is the way you want to go with this character. And that is going to move us on to Super Saiyan 4 or Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku, who transforms into Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now, with this guy, this one's actually pretty simple to me. I think that like a major emphasis on additional and dodge as well is going to be the main setup that you want to do for this specific character. Now, when we go into here, you can see when we have a 24 key, we just guaranteed crit, right? And we're going to be getting extra key per orb. So this is one of those cases where, you know, we talked about it earlier, like actively going against what the character's trying to do or just ignoring what the character does. If you go full crit on this character, I think you are building him wrong. So when they do have something like this, what you want to do is always just go with additional and dodge. Especially if you have like 2 dupes in the character and you can fully max out the build in terms of the hidden potential system, additional and dodge is definitely the way that you want to go. This guy has a great chance of evading as is, so then you can go into the system of like, was it the great chance or was it the hidden potential system dodge, right? Those are 2 major things that are going to be implied with this character. So what you want to do, like I said, additional and dodge. I think that is a pretty cut and dry explanation for how this character is going to work, but we'll go to Super Saiyan 4 Goku really quick. Again, it's the same case as what we saw last time, where this character has guaranteed crit for the first 4 turns for the character's entry turn. So again, you can see right here, we're having extra crit chance right here. We have that guaranteed crit right here. We have a card. So getting additional supers in, giving support, right? Getting the dodges easily, in my opinion, the way you want to go for this specific guy right here. Super Saiyan 4 Goku is a much less complex case than somebody like Vegito, where you need to kind of think about the build. In my opinion, with this guy, it's pretty easy. You just go additional and dodge. Maybe a little bit of defensive stats, maybe a little bit of offensive stats if you want to toss that in there, but additional and dodge, definitely the focus for this character. Next up on the list, we have someone who's quickly becoming infamous, and that is STR Evolution Blue Vegeta. Now, I'm not going to come up here and stand on a soapbox and be like, he sucks, he's horrible, he's miserable, this character's awful. I will say he's not the best, right? I think we can all understand that. This guy is raising attack and defense on his super attack effects, but here is the one issue. This character has quickly become the face of the modern day LR Cooler, the modern day like Evo Ken before they EZA'd, the sort of Hope Trunks. And if you guys don't know what I'm referring to with that, it is the way that his setup is built for his additional attacks, right? Typically, what you want from a character is 2 to 3 guaranteed supers every time that they come up to bat, and this is not going to be the case with this character. Most of the time with Evolution Blue Vegeta, especially if you're somebody that has him at 55%, which I assume is the vast majority of those of you who are watching this video. I'm sure a lot of you have like a dupe or 2 in him, but most of you watching this video probably have him at 55%. Just the way the anniversary LRs go, right? You just pull them and then you want to stop summoning. That's just how it is, right? Dupe chasing, I never recommend. But with this guy, you guys can see we are raising attack and defense on both of these super attack effects, but the issue is he does super, normal, 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 or super, super, normal, 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 right? Usually it's not just super, 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 super. It's never that easy. So, you know, one thing that you want to do to kind of counteract the passive with this character, in my opinion, is you want to emphasize some additional, so that way you can get the additional in the hidden potential system, right? So like, if you guys don't know, there's often times where an additional super attack can come from the hidden potential system. So that is something that you do need to keep in mind. So with this guy, again, additionals help, and I think dodge is also helpful as well. So for every attack performed, we're going to be on average about like getting to the damage reduction threshold on this character to like fully max it out. The issue is you need to do 6 or more super attacks, and I'm sure you guys know that's tricky. So like additional is going to be a massive focus for this character. Yes, I know what else is massive, but the sort of like focus that you want to go with, because you're not going to be able to have that extra damage reduction rate, you're going to want to also go dodge. So I think that this is another example of a mix of additional and dodge. I think that is going to be the best hidden potential build for this specific character. The beauty of this guy though is we don't really need to think too much about it, right? Like, it's like, okay, we want to get the additional, we want to get the dodge, and we're good, because this is not a multi-layered character. There's, as you guys know I'm sure as you guys know at this point, there is no active skill, there is no like extra stuff, right? This guy is an intro animation, but that's it. There's no active skill, there's no transformation, there's no exchange. This character is extremely cut and dry, and you're just going to need to get as many additional supers in as possible, so that's going to be a big focus. And then also, if you can't get that extra damage reduction from doing the supers early, you're going to want to make sure you have some dodge as well to sort of counter that and make sure that you are protected in the fight from the hidden potential system. So additional and dodge, I think, is going to be the best way to go with this Evolution Blue Vegeta. Let's go ahead and move on to the last character for today's video, and that is going to be Mr. Satan, or Hercule. Now, this guy's crazy, right? It is this, like, before receiving an attack within the turn, having the damage reduction rate of 90 and also being able to dodge, like, I don't know, maybe, like, I think the way to go with this guy, like, honestly, is just full dodge. And like, that's just because you're not doing like some insane amount of damage right away, and maybe you'd also want to do some additional as well. If you guys don't know, like, the way that the game works these days is literally just It's pretty simple, right? Like a lot of characters most of the time, and I'm being dead serious when I say this, it's just additional dodge. That is like the way to go for almost every single character in the game these days. Unless like they are guaranteed to do like 3 supers or something like that from the passive system, you are just going to want to slap some additional on them and slap some dodge to increase their defensive stats and then also protect them in case they need it. Because unless you're like a brand new character, especially like when you're doing easy yays and other characters that you pull that are a little bit old, there's a good chance that like modern day or power crept super attacks are just going to take them out. So that is why you need evasion and dodge and stuff like that on your characters as much as possible. So I think with this guy, you're definitely not going to want to focus on crit because of the active skill, right? When within the turn activated, all attacks become crits. So very big deal. Or like you literally just want to go dodge on this guy. I think that's the way to go. And then a little bit of additional, a little bit of dodge. And that is how you're going to want to run this character. You just don't need to do crit for this Goku or for this Hercule here. So there you go. The best hidden potential builds for all of the new anniversary characters. Obviously, we'll be updating this during part 2 at some point. We just have to wait and see what the characters are, how they're set up, and then we'll be able to update that guide, or we'll probably do this one a little bit quicker than what I did for the part 1 LRs, but there you guys have it. So let me know down below how many dupes do you have in these characters? What is your hidden potential build? Why do you think that way? If you disagree with what I said, let me know in the comment section below. Again, not a big deal if you do disagree. It's just a hidden potential build, so don't overthink it. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.